There is no health without mental health. There is no health without mental health. And so say all of us. There is no health without mental health. There is no health without mental health. There is no health without mental health. And so say all of us. Okay. Good evening, everyone, viewers at home in Nigeria, UK, US, Australasia, everywhere, northern and southern Americans. I greet you. It's your regular host, Dr. Oluseun Peter Ogunobi. Welcome to our Friday evening clinic, Mind Matters with Dr. P. Mind Matters with Dr. P. How are you? How has your week been? I always say that if you can survive between the last Friday and now, that means you're a survivor. Okay? You know when the song they say, I'm a survivor, I'm a survivor. You're a survivor. For you to succeed till now. Let me greet my people. 3 good 3I. Binti Ali 27. Rescote joined. Abenu 6520. Okay. Catrice joined. Tell others. Today is going to be very, very, very powerful. Today is going to be very powerful. We're going to be dealing with a very important topic today. Ombito, how are you? Feke 833. How are you? Yes, it's good to see you guys again. Shalomania, how are you? How has your week been? Where is everyone? Where's everyone? Knock, 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 knock. Knock, knock, knock. Good evening. How is everything? Tell everyone. You know what they say? Tell somebody to tell somebody. Mind Matters with Dr. You know I love this so much. I'm still looking for another gift. I'll be very, very... Bone me. How are you? Thanks for waving. I'm waving back. Thanks for joining. Today we are talking about a very important topic, and that is coping with separation, divorce, or when you are jilted. Coping with separation or breakup. Coping with separation or breakup. It is very important. As a community psychiatrist, it's important that I try to identify factors in the society that can predispose or precipitate emotional illnesses in people. My aim as a mental health advocate is not only to talk about the plight of people going through emotional illness, but also to identify those areas that I know that people usually fall into, and it actually causes them depression, anxiety, insomnia, and the likes. It is very, very important. So most of the time, I receive calls And then I hear things like, Dr. Nubi, I don't know. I feel so messed up right now. I don't know how to cope. I left this man like 10 years ago. And I'm like, what? You were separated 10 years ago. And are you telling me you have not been able to move on? So, wait. You were in a relationship. Either marriage, either boyfriend, girlfriend, fiancé relationship. You guys felt, oh, the relationship is toxic. And you decided to call it quits. And you are telling me 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, you are still bothered. The person is still toxic in your life. Then something is wrong. Something is wrong. So today, how do we cope with breakup or separation? Many of the people who are watching, I know you may not be going through breakups or separation, but you want to put yourself in a position where you be a mental health advocate, counselors. I mean, Dr. Tolu, how are you? Dr. Tolu is joining from Kigali. And of course, we've had discussions in which she has said, you know, people call her from time to time, and she wants to have some principles on how to, on how to help people. So you are in church, you are in mosque, you are in society, and people walk up to you, and the girl or the boy is just crying over your shoulders and is saying, I'm having difficulty in moving on. How do people not able to move on? After separation of 10 years, 5 years, you are still not able to move on. I will not judge anyone. I know many people say it's not serious. Why has he not been able to move on? Nonsense. There are many fishes in the ocean. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong with her? She should move on. Today we'll be talking about reasons why people find it difficult to move on. Why people find it difficult to stand alone after breakup. Somebody left you, somebody jilted you, somebody dashed your hope. You were planning to get married to that person, and all of a sudden, person just told you, sorry, I'm not doing again. How are you going to feel? So when people call me and they say, Dr. Nubi, Dr. Nubi, and they start crying, I give myself time to listen to them. At the end of the day, they're talking about a relationship where they were jilted, and you're talking about 4 or 5 years. So that is what we'll be talking about today. Shall we start? All right. As we start, it is important for you to know that there is no health without mental health. As we start, it is important for you to know that those who are emotionally weak and they cry for help, they are not lazy. It is, you have story of Meghan Markle, right? She was almost suicidal, if not because of the way she felt she was treated. It is important. It is important. Thanks, Dr. Tolu, for putting the topic out. Reasons why people find it difficult to move on after a relationship breakup. Yes, it is important because I can tell you, especially women folks, if you have 10 women on psychiatric ward, I can tell you for free, 4 out of 10 or 5, the reason why they are there is because of one man from somewhere. That should not be. Ditto for men too. Most of the cases of suicidality and everything is because of relationship breakup that people are not able to patch and do everything. So we're going to be talking about that succinctly today. I have established the point that when people cry for help, it's not a sign of weakness. It's also not a sign that they are lazy. It's not a sign that they are calling for attention. The same way you feel feverish when you have malaria, so also somebody that has emotional pain can feel. Stop judging them. Stop judging. Stop the stereotyping. Stop the prejudice. Stop the stigma. And stop believing that whoever is seeing psychiatrist, whoever is having madness or craziness. The brain is an organ in the body, just like your heart. If you have a heart problem, you see a cardiologist. If you have a kidney problem, you see a nephrologist. If you have a lung problem, you see a respiratologist. Bone problem, you see orthopedic surgeon or rheumatologist. Brain problem, you either see a neurologist, if it is movement problem, a neurosurgeon, if it is coma due to head injury or blood inside the brain or any cancer they have to remove. But if it is emotion, perception, behavior, feelings, anything that has to do with judgment or your mind, fear, panic, anxiety, these are the things that psychiatrists manage. Never judge anybody with emotional illness. All right, thank you. So today, we're going to look at personalities. There are some people that they have what we call dependent personality traits. Dependent personality traits. They are not assertive. They are easily suggestible. Very suggestible. Very suggestible. And as much as possible, if you can hear me, please let me know. I'm being told that there's problem with my internet. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Can you guys hear me? Les Nubari, Queen Jessica. Okay, thank you, Dr. Tolu. Thank you so much. Okay. Pristine Fabric, how are you? 3 goodbye, 3 why? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. So, personality traits. Thank you, my sister from Birmingham, Sister Bola. Thank you so much. Brother Lee, thank you for joining my life. Okay. So, as much as possible, it is important for us to identify that personalities. Because when you understand your personalities, it will help you. Your personality will help you to now say, oh, this is the reason. So if anybody calls you or you are having problem going through or overcoming breakup or separation, first of all, we need to assess your personality. Do you have dependent personality issue? What comes to mind is the recent Big Brother Africa, Nigeria. One of the housemates had problem with her personality. She had issue moving on, even when there was so-called separation between her and somebody. And because she could not cope when that one said, you know what, day your day, make I day my day. Eventually, you can see the tantrums, the difficulties, and the eventual outcome. And when this person came out, I'm so happy. When she was being interviewed, what she said was, I have learned now to be on my own. Before, I felt I needed people. So I thought I needed this person. And when it wasn't forthcoming, I felt the whole world going off my feet. That is the first thing. Personality. you will realize that people who are self-sufficient, people who are strong-willed, and they have that self-independent personality, when they have breakup or people leave them or there is separation, it is easier for them because naturally they have not put all their lives on the other person. So it is important. So and that is why being a therapist is different from being a counselor. A therapist will do the dynamics. We first of all look at the dynamics of the person that is talking. So if a client comes to me, I want to assess the personality of that client. I can't just be telling my client who has a personality problem or personality trait of dependency to be saying, come on, you know what, you're going to do this, then later you forget him. I must first of all identify the personality of that person. And once I see, because I'm going to be asking other things that will tell me this person has a dependency personality trait. It is that one we first of all get, in place before we now begin to teach other principles. That is why you can't just be telling people, don't worry, just close your eyes and move. You are telling them to do the impossible. We need to first of all assess and know the kind of personality. There are some people that they cannot stay alone. They cannot stay on their own. So they find it difficult to move on. And that is why people will be separated. How can you still be winning and whining over a boyfriend that left you in year 3 in university 11 years ago? I have seen the case before. 11 years ago. And the person is still saying, has it been, it is Tokbe? Has it been, it is Kunle? And you begin to wonder, personality. So it is important for you to understand that. Another reason why people find it so difficult is people have not been able to narrow, they've not been able to broaden their choices. The truth is this: some of us, we have ideal perspective about life. We see life from the ideal point. And therefore, we believe that, this person, I am nothing without him, I'm nothing without her, and you are not thinking of your own self first. Emotional wellness, emotional fitness starts with self before others. It is as selfish as that, because your mind is your mind. No one can share it with you. So it is important for you to identify that what is your perception about life. People, we have this, some of you have this candy, candy mountain. Alice we meet Tokbe, not our own wonderful Alice. Alice we meet John, then they will marry, then they will have 4 children, and then life will be beautiful. They will go to Paril. They will go to, you have that beautiful, yes, it is good. But you know what's going on? You only have this linear attitude, linear perception to life. The danger in that is that if you see life this way, that everything will just be rosy, you and this guy and everything. When the guy leaves, or when something happens, because you have not trained your mind for the eventuality, you know what happens? You find it difficult to rise up again. Those who see life as a cosine graph, up and down, they are able to cope with vicissitudes of life. They are able to cope with breakup, or when they are jilted, or when there is separation. But you see those who see life straight, everything will just be sweet. Everything will just be sweet. I mean, there are many of us. There are many of us like that. In fact, when you say, well, Sometimes life is not a bed of roses. It will be a bed of roses for me. Then you're talking about, oh, come and do your insurance. You know, life is ephemeral and everything. I reject it. I will not die. Nothing will do me. I refuse to die. We are not saying you will die. But people do their insurance. They have insurance policy. This and that. Anything can happen. There won't be any bad thing that will happen. We just don't want to be saying anything negative. I appreciate. I understand your positivity. I understand your mindfulness. It's good. But the truth is that life is up and down. Good things happen to bad people. Bad things happen to good people. You must begin to see life. It will be so difficult for you to overcome separation, or when you are disappointed in any relationship, if you don't see life as up and down. I have seen patients who have been, should I say, jilted or separated from, and they find it so difficult to move on because they keep saying things like, "Doctor, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. With everything I did for him, with everything I did for her, I can't believe it." You see, they can't believe it. They can't believe it. They can't believe it. They can't believe it. 1 year, 2 years, they can't believe it. 3rd year, 5th year, they still cannot believe it. They live in denial. They live in denial. And it is important for us to know that if you live in denial, you are just the first stage of grief reaction. It is important you know that. Let me tell you something. When anybody is disappointed, or when anybody is separated from, or there's a breakup in any relationship, 5 things will happen to your emotion. Whoever you are, 5 things will happen to your emotion. Whoever you are. Every one of us will go through these 5 phases. I will mention the 5 phases, and then you will ask yourself, which one are you stuck with? You are stuck. Some of us are stuck in one, say, the first phase. Some of us were stuck with the second. Let me tell you the first thing that will happen. When you separate yourself from any relationship, either you are the one that left or they left you. Be it boyfriend, be it husband and wife, anything, the first thing is you deny the issue. Well, let him go. If you can go. There are many fishes in the water. What's the big deal? I beg. That's denial. You are doing as if the thing don't concern you. It doesn't affect you anyway. If the person go, make it a go, Joe. Make it a go if you won't go. That is denial. All of us, when you live a wonderful relationship, friendship, or any loss of anything, you just wait as well. The memory lives on. The departure is well remembered. We part to meet again. Things like that. We just deny that. Where the thing no send. But immediately after that denial comes anger. You just get angry. You begin to blame people. Maybe your friend, or his mother, or her mother. Somebody you heard maybe was instrumental to the separation or the breakup. It is normal. You go to that state of anger and blaming. You begin to blame. You get angry. Some people are able to move away from that particular area. Then the next thing is the state of bargaining. Have you not seen people that, somebody has separated from you, have told you that, well, we can't be together, this and that. Then you see yourself bargaining, okay, can we still be friends? After all, we are not enemies. Can we be this? Can we be this? That is a state of bargaining, because your heart is longing. When these things happen to you, don't fight your emotion. It is normal. I just told you there are 5 steps every human being go through when people separate from you, or you, funny enough, even if you are the one separating from that person, because this is somebody that you once been together with. So you go through the state of denial as if it did not affect you. Then later you go to the state of anger, in which you blame people around you, you refuse to talk, you block people, you believe that the one instrumental, and the likes. Then you go to a state of bargaining, trying to see whether there can be amicable resolution. After that, what happens? The body goes to a state of depression. That is when I come to see people most of the time. People are depressed. You are down. You don't know where to start again. You don't want to come out. You don't feel like socializing. People have actually talked to me before that they find it difficult relating after their breakup. They find it difficult talking to people again. They've lost friends. To even come out, some of them are ashamed, because you've been wearing the same clothes, you've been going to the same church, you've been going to the same mosque, you know, you've been doing things together. You've actually been the envy of the town. You've told your friends how you're going to get married. As a matter of fact, you've taken pictures. You've actually thought, you've coined words. Talk by words. Oluwa Dumola. Dumola 2021. Darasijo 2020. And all of a sudden, something happens. It's life. Remember I said life is not like this. When you know that life is not linear, it will be easier for you. It's not that you will not go through these 5 phases. You will go through the 5 phases. But it will help you to know that when you are down, you will rise again. So people go to the first stage, which is the phase of depression, in which they feel sad. They feel a sense of hopelessness, helplessness, worthlessness. They don't know what to do again. It is normal. And after that, what happens? You have a state of acceptance. Life happens. And you move on. But the problem is that some of us have not been able to overcome these 5 phases. Some are still stuck either at the denial stage, some at anger stage. So let me ask you, if you are listening to me and you are going through breakups, what stage are you stuck at? What stage are you stuck at? Ask yourself, what stage are you stuck at? What is it that you've lost and you find it difficult moving on? Are you stuck at the denial phase or the anger phase? Are you stuck at the bargaining phase? You are still trying to see. So you see VC, you see send text and it doesn't reply. She doesn't reply, you feel hot. You still go and peep and check his profile or her profile. And you see him wearing nice suit and say, wow, he's even moving on. He will move on now. He has told you. Or you see check her and you see her. She's wearing some shades and she's saying, oh, Queen, don't play the pawn. And you say, hey, she's not even missing me. Miss you like how? She too is moving on. Why must you continue to make yourself sad by checking his profile or her profile, sending text to her, sending text to him? That when you do that, you are at the bargaining phase. That means you have remained stuck at the bargaining phase. Why not just move to acceptance phase? After the bargaining phase is the depression phase, where you're going to feel down and cool. Some of us are stuck at the depressive phase. We have refused to accept, which is the last thing. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. So the essence of this discussion this evening It's to tell us that our personality is the first thing we need to watch. You must understand yourself and work on yourself. If you have dependent personality trait in which you feel you always believe others are the one that will help you, you can't see yourself standing on your own, you believe it's your life, she's your life, you can't make it, you are easily suggestible, you believe everything has to come from this person, and so when the person goes, it's as if your whole life. But no, nobody is created that way. You are created to stand. We are only helpmates for one another and each other. It's important. It's also important to understand that your body will go, your emotions will go through normal phases, which is grief reaction, reaction to loss, reaction to bereavement, reaction to something, any loving object. If you lose it, your body will react. You're going to first of all deny whether it's affecting you. Later, you're going to be angry and blame people, blame your friends, stop talking to them, cause them all sorts of names, block everybody, remove yourself from social media. It is normal. You're going to go to bargaining. You're going to be peeping, go and be checking, go and be sending texts, checking his status. It is normal. And then you go to a state of depression. So it is very, very important. Okay? Acceptance is when you now decide that, okay, let me move on. So quickly, let me now tell you, now that you have gotten to a state of acceptance, how do you move on? How do you move on after a breakup? How do you move on when someone has jilted you? Someone has separated from you? We have already discussed the reason. The phases are normal. Shalomania, you are asking. It is normal for every human being after a separation, loss, or anything to go through those 5 phases I mentioned. A state of denial, a state of anger, a state of bargaining, a state of depression, and a state of acceptance. What happens is some people now get stuck at one particular phase or the other, which is not good. That is when problems resolve. How can you get stuck at depressive phase? Then you remain depressed and you continue to talk about a breakup of 5, 10 years ago, and you are unable to form another relationship. I have seen people who have not been able to form another relationship because of the past breakup. That means you are still stuck. So you are now in a new relationship. Now, let me tell you, how then do you move on? Let me quickly tell you, how do we move on? If you have any question, just ask me and I'm going to read and I'm going to answer them. How do you move on? I haven't had a breakup. The first thing is now, you know, there was a time I had a session and I had an interview with T-Bills. And I cannot forget what he said. He said the first thing he did was, he first of all told himself, this is TJ Balogun. T-Bills have gone. It has gone. Pata pata. Now, he mentioned his name and said, this is who you are. All the fun fairs and co. And he had to now start afresh. That is the first thing. Be real with yourself. After a breakup, it is important for you to first of all sit yourself and say, this is the situation of things now. This is who I am now. Be real with yourself. The next thing is social connection. When you are real with yourself, the tendency for you to want to, isolate yourself is there. But make sure you do not isolate yourself. Simsola, how are you? Simsola from US. How are you? Wow, my friends are joining. Anifa Sadiq, Kemata, Leslie Nubari, Asian Queen, on Discover, Gofinki, Joel Monique. Wow, Simon Assurance 44. I'm Original Dawn. Wow. Wow, good to have you. Dr. Shote, how are you? Thanks for joining my live. Tayo, Shalomania. Okay, 15 fabric, you guys. Yeah. So I believe you are enjoying you are flowing with me. Anifa Sadiq, how are you? I am fine, see me. How are you? All right. How is the weather over there? Fantastic. So, it is important to be real with ourselves after a breakup. The next thing is social connection. Avoid the temptation of cutting yourself up because of the shame and guilt. Don't forget when you were with that person, maybe you've not had time for anybody. You know that kind of relationship, you just been that friendship, relationship, and the person is the only person in your life, as in she's your world, is your world, is your life. You don't even have time for anybody. You don't even call your family, you don't call friends. And now this person has just waka jeje. And you now find yourself, to even now begin to call, how are you? Tokwe, how are you, my friend? Some of them will be so loud-mouthed, they say, you get our time now. Some of them will him, and now he's alone, he's calling us. He remembers us. See, it will happen. In fact, before they abuse you, quickly abuse them. Sorry that I'm calling you. I'll be waiting. Go to call our own now. It's when we need ourselves, we call ourselves. Forget, never fall into the temptation of isolation. Isolation hits hard after separation or breakup, and you must avoid it. That after breakup is when you need people. When you've gone through the phases I've mentioned and you are now at the acceptance phase, then you need to move on. Connect with people. Old buddies, join the association, your secondary school association, old boys. Go back to your social media, dress well. See, this life, now only you. I know people that gave birth when we were in school. Today, we're wishing that if we have known, say we should have given birth too. Because their children have grown up. Now they are even eating the fruit of the children. They are genuine. You understand? So, but I can remember that time, maybe the person will be feeling shameful. Oh, look at my life, this and that. All those ones now don't become story. So whatever you are going through and you are ashamed, that thing will still become something that you will celebrate later. So never allow isolation to catch hold of you. Okay? So it is very, it's true, Shalomana, that's the truth. We are looking at it, they are already eating. We are still carrying children to nursery school. Their children wearing the same clothes size with them. Because, but then it was as if the ground will open and collapse and they will just fall inside. You understand? So, that had made me to know that when you are ashamed of something, somebody tried to commit suicide and I saw the person. She was pregnant and said, what with friends, church, everybody, what would they say? And the next thing, she tried to take substance to use to kill herself. Kill yourself. For a pregnancy, people are looking for, and you want to die. I saw 3 cases this year of people who tried to take substance because they were pregnant. Children that people are looking for. That baby, if you have that baby, if you nurture that baby, you realize that those people that you think that they will laugh at you and everything, then they would have moved on, everybody move on. They will not be looking at you, wow, he has grown to such a big boy now. Oh, what a wonderful princess you are. Lobaton, can you see? Why should you not try to commit suicide? Because you made mistake and because of the shame you think the world. So there's no shame in separation, no shame in breakup. Avoid. The next thing is be willing to start again. And I may stop here after these 3 things. The first is be real with yourself after breakup. 2, avoid social isolation. Connect with people around you. 3, it is important that you are willing to start again. Many a times, the clients that I see in this consulting room, the common denominator, which I find very, very, very paramount is they find it difficult establishing another relationship. You hear things like, he has traces of my ex. She has traces of my ex. And then you just jackpot, you run away. Once the person comes or the person just does anything like this that reminds you, you just disappear. See, let me tell you something. Thunders don't strike at the same location twice. It's important for you to know that individual has his own uniqueness. Individual has his own uniqueness. It's important. No two individuals have the same personality or same behavior. So don't say because, oh, this person has the same traits, you will run away. You continue to run. And that is what I've noticed. People find it difficult forming another relationship because the trauma of the past is like a post-traumatic stress disorder. Whenever they see the person, whenever the person talks, or the person friends, I'm not saying you should not, I'm not saying, hey, don't get me wrong. You must learn from the past. Don't make the same mistake again. But at the same time, don't be too rigid, don't be too judgmental. And don't try to now, you are too anxious. Anything you see, see the way he's walking. Hey, he's walking like Tunde. He's walking like Jide. See her. She's walking like Caroline. Look at the way she's talking. This one will be like Caroline. She's always with her phone. She will be doing, all those things. You're unnecessarily working yourself up. Have an open mind. Format your mind. Be willing to learn from your mistake. And number 4, ask yourself, where did you go wrong? What led to the separation? What led to the breakup in the first place? You started a relationship with someone does not share the same faith with you. So you don't start another one. You start a relationship with someone, you're thinking that, you are going to convert or change. So next time around, make sure you look for your own likes. Those are the things you need to learn. There are some breaks off that naturally from beginning, it ought not to have occurred. Your relationship ought not to have started. But it was out of, sentiment. It's going to change. She's going to change. Let me continue to observe. We will learn. We will teach each other. That is what happens. So learn. Learn from that mistake. From the beginning. I always say something. When I was talking about resolving internal conflict, I said there are many conflicts that we go into that if we have already established certain things, they won't even happen. Know the kinds of person you make as friends. Know the kind of person you want. Determine it. Don't be too rigid. But have some, crossbars. We call it, some factors that that these are factors that I cannot just compromise. I am uncompromising when it comes to these factors. So that is number 4. Learn. Where have you compromised in your past relationship that led to breakups? Make sure that all those things, you sort it out. But don't be afraid of starting again. How can your life be so made in such a way that everybody you come across will just be breaking up with you? You are not wicked. God is not wicked towards you. That everyone you now meet, they'll be dashing your hole, dashing your hole, dashing your hole. And then you say men has come, women has come. No, nobody has come anything. It's just life. Things happen. So don't generalize and say men has come or women are useless. No. When you say women are useless, remember you have a mother and you have sisters. Men has come. You have a father and you have brothers. You must not generalize and use your perception or the thing that the other person did to you and now generalize. And finally, it is important that you must seek for help. If you are stuck and you find it difficult to move on, listen very well. We are talking about how to move on after breakups or relationship. Because I have discovered that this factor is one of the many factors that patients come to tell me. It's one of the reasons why people go into emotional problem. People are suicidal. People are depressed. Out of 10 women in emotional wellness clinic or psychiatry home, 4 or 5 or 6 have issues relating to opposite gender. Either breakup, either separation, divorce, and co. And that is why I decided to take this important topic today. How do we move on after a breakup so that we can still keep our mental health intact? We said understand your personality. We said understand your emotions, that your emotions will go through 5 phases. The stage of denial, that nothing happened, and you continue to pretend as if nothing happened. Then after that, you're going to move to anger. You blame people around you for causing the breakup and co. Shut people off, get off internet and co. Then you're going to go to a state of bargaining, in which you're going to be visiting his profile, her profile, go and be checking, go and be sliding to his DM, trying to talk to our friends, and just see everywhere, okay, maybe we are not enemies, we can still be friends. Then a state of anger, which are going to be very angry. You understand? Bargaining, anger, you understand? Then you go to depression. Okay? Depression is when you now feel down as if you cannot move. Hopeless, helpless, worthless, stay at home, not doing anything. To form another relationship is wahala. And after that, if you are able to overcome that, then you go to the final state of acceptance. And once you have accepted that, well, life is not linear. It's a matter of up and down. You need to change your perception about life. Stop seeing life from the ideal perspective. You have to be realistic. Good things happen to people. So stop saying, why me? Why not you? You know, when people come to my consulting room, they say, doctor, why me? It shouldn't have been me. I'm so loving, I'm so caring. I did everything for this man. Ah, doctor, why me? If you see the way I served this man, I served him. If you see this guy, I was going to this guy's house, I will wash everything. I was buying things for this guy. I've even prepared the wedding. Everything was on me. Ah, doctor, why me? Why me? Why not you? Good things happen to good people. Good things happen to bad people. Bad things happen to bad people. Bad things happen to good people. That is why life is up and down. The moment you get that, you move on. Be realistic about the stage you are now, that you are back to square one. Be ready to learn from the past. Avoid social isolation. Connect back to friends that you have missed. And make sure that if not everything fails, make sure that you seek for help. Help is always around you. Come to my DM. Check Grace Cottage Clinic on website. There are many hospitals around. But don't say, So there are private psychiatry hospitals. There are private emotional hospitals. I thought everything is only federal government, RO, Selu, Bank. No. There are private mental health facilities. Lagos, Port Harcourt, Ibadan, Abuja, and Co. So, I think it's been a wonderful time today. Thanks for those who joined. If you have any question, this is the time that I take questions. If you have anything to say, go 500, join, NCK, Adeoshu Williams. Oh, my mentor is here, my political mentor, Tiko for Governor, that's Tikare, all the way from UK. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for joining my life. Every Friday, Minds Matter with Dr. Nubi, Minds Matter with Dr. P. The truth is that I'm making mental health ambassadors. And I just discovered that I've been on several platforms. I'll be typing, I'll be teaching. And I just say, you know what? I cannot be dissipating energy in different directions. Let me just put all the energy together. If anybody is interested, so I just wrote on all those platforms. If you are interested in listening to me, if you are interested in learning one mental health tips or the other, every Friday, 6 o'clock, let's do this. So that by the time we take one topic, two topic, we begin to take them. Maybe you have a question and go. Then we will trash it. If you want us to trash any topic, I have some topics that I've written down. We've talked about coping with separation and breakup. We've talked about demystifying mental illness. We have talked about stress management. We have talked about conflict resolution. We see our topics here. We have topics like how trauma shapes us. That's another topic. How do we allow trauma to shape us? I think we should do that sometimes. Trauma, when you are traumatized, when you've gone through either physical, emotional trauma, how does it shape you into being a better person? Trauma may be our friend and not foe. I know people say, what's Dr. Nubi saying? I don't want trauma. Trauma can actually be your best friend. And join me. We may be treating this next week. You never know the topic we're going to treat. But I think we should treat how trauma shapes us. It's a good topic to treat. We also have topics like overcoming the ties of our time. You will agree with me that we are in a very serious ties. People are either drowning or they are swimming offshore. What will determine whether you will get drowned or you will swim safely to the bank? It's another topic we can treat. Overcoming the tides of our time. Wow, I'm excited already. Another topic I have here is maintaining work-life balance. We have not treated that. Maintaining work-life balance. We should do that one of these days. We should do that. Are we talking about dealing with toxic people? I think we've treated that. Dealing with toxic people. What about maintaining emotional fitness? We have treated. So we are moving. So if you miss this Friday meetings, Friday clinic, you are sitting on a long thing. So don't miss the Friday clinic. We have lovely topics that we're going to treat. Next week, I should be talking to one of us. I should be talking to Alice. Alice is in US. Alice migrated to US. And she will be telling us immigration, how to live overseas. How do you live overseas? How do you live? How do you live overseas? How do you ensure that you cope with the culture, the diversities and everything? Because immigration has been found to be one of the reasons for depression, for suicidal behavior, for reason for anxiety. Many emotional illnesses have been linked to immigration. So we'll be hearing from someone. She's going to join me live from US, and we're going to be doing this. She's going to tell me what are the tips. How was she able, and how is she able to still cope? Talk of the weather, the culture, the food, friendship, and everything. Okay, and then some of these topics we will still, and most of the topics we've treated, if you check my timeline, they are there, like dealing with toxic people and co. But it's something, I don't think we treated it very well. Let me start it. Dealing with toxic people, because some of us are in a relationship that are very toxic, some of us are in friendship that are very toxic, and you can't leave them. But how do you deal with such? These are questions that people ask me, and so I'm still going to start it. I don't think we've treated it extensively. We've only treated breakup, we've treated emotional fitness, demystifying mental illness, conflict resolution. So we're going to treat how trauma shapes us, dealing with toxic people, maintaining work-life balance, overcoming the ties of our time, and then how to cope as immigrants in a foreign land. Guys, it's been a wonderful time. There's no health without mental health. We started this about 1 hour ago, 6:05. This is 7:03. At this juncture, I want to appreciate you Yeah. So I've been saying, yes, you are right. We're going to treat it. Dealing with toxic people. We will treat it. So at this stage, I think we can say bye-bye to ourselves. So this is the time I get to say bye-bye. Those who are still joining, I'm going to post the Instagram live. You can watch and rewatch and also send the link to your friends. So this is the stage. So let us say bye-bye to ourselves. Bye-bye, Abintin. Bye-bye, Alice. Pristine Fabric. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Bamike Ilerika. Debekuzi. Bye-bye, Grace Cottage. Steph Asu. Bye-bye, Gogo 500. Nsike Adosha Williams. Tiko for Governor. Shalomania. Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, my sister. Thank you, Stabola. Bye, Mike Lyrica. Bye-bye. Yes, so for those of us who missed the beginning, see me, Sola. Bye-bye. Pristine. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful weekend. Let's do this again next week, Friday. God keeping us alive. Thank you.